I am Johanna with Smith's Jewelers on the Square in Noblesville, Indiana. We are highlighting some of the organizations that we support. These organizations are a huge part of our community. Today, I've got Megan Wiles with us. She's Executive Director of Riverview Health Foundation, Vice President of Noblesville Common Council. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you very much, Joanna. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. So today, we want to learn more about Riverview Health Foundation. But first, I'd just like to get your background before you were involved in the foundation.
Sure. So I actually grew up in Noblesville. So this is my home community, and graduated from Ball State University, and have had a number of different past careers working in the insurance business. I did some government relations, actually then got into some political environment, and then had an opportunity to work for what was then called Legacy Fund, which is the community foundation for Hamilton County. And I was fortunate to be president there for about 8.5 years, and then took a break when our kids were little so that I could be home with them and be able to support their activities and be involved, and was looking for an opportunity to get back more involved in the community, and the opportunity at Riverview Health Foundation came available.
So did Riverview Health Foundation, was it connected to Legacy Fund, or how did that door open?
So there is a relationship between Riverview Health Foundation and the Community Foundation. Actually, in those early days of the Community Foundation when they were trying to grow, we partnered together, and there is a permanent endowment for Riverview Health Foundation at Community Foundation.
Okay. And
there were times where Riverview Health Foundation would apply for grants through Legacy Fund. So I had a relationship with the executive director at the time.
Okay, wonderful. So I know Riverview Health Foundation has a lot of different areas that it can support its patients. What are some of those different areas?
So Riverview Health Foundation has been in existence since 1976. And so over those years, we have been able to help support different programs and projects at the hospital that help benefit our patients and our staff. So some of the projects that help benefit our patients primarily are in the women's departments.
Okay.
And we do that through our Women of Vision Giving Club. And their departments will apply for funding, and then they request those dollars to help support different programs. So such as the maternity department for car seats, for sleep sacks, for education for moms who are going through postpartum depression, some other things like that. We've also done some grants to the maternity department to help provide support through the milk bank. So the milk bank provides pasteurized human donor milk for babies that are born preterm and where mom's milk hasn't come in yet. And so she wants to breastfeed, but she doesn't have that available yet. And so we're able to provide that support. Believe it or not, donor milk is quite expensive, so the foundation's able to help fund that. We also have programs where we have a wonderful group of volunteers who will knit, sew, crochet blankets so that every newborn baby born at Riverview Health gets a handmade blanket.
That's it.
And so we help provide the funding so that those volunteers can go out and buy the materials to be able to make those blankets. So those are just a few things that we do.
Okay, wonderful. So there's the maternal area. Are there any other areas, like if you have cancer or anything else? Does the foundation help in that aspect as well?
We do. Thank you for asking that. So through the Women of Vision luncheon that we hold every year, again, we're raising dollars to help support this grant-making program. We provide support also to our women's boutique that helps to provide wigs, prosthetic devices to women who maybe can't afford those items when they're going through breast cancer. We do a lot of breast cancer support and education for those patients that are going through those challenging times. And our speaker this year, at this year's luncheon, is actually a breast cancer survivor. Her name's Desi Payne, and she's going to talk about the incredible power of laughter and what that means as you're going through those journeys and help withstand some of those challenges that life has. Some of the other ways that we have been able to help cancer patients is really through raising dollars for capital projects at the hospital. So one of our most recent completed projects is the Courtney Cox Cole Infusion Center at Riverview Health. The foundation raised over $1.5 million for that project. The previous infusion center at Riverview Health was a great patients received outstanding care there. I was going to say it's a great facility. It wasn't a great facility. It was an interior room of the hospital with no windows. And so patients would sit there kind of this close to one another. Could be for a couple of hours. It could be for 8 hours. And if you're having a really bad day, you may not want to be sitting this close to somebody else. So we were able to completely recreate a new area that has windows. It has semi-private rooms with fireplaces. You've got a social treatment area so that if you are having a good day and you want to hang out with friends, you can. And then we also have private rooms with beds so that if you are having a really difficult time, you've got that privacy and space. And that area opened up in 2019. And, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Courtney Cox-Cole was a patient in our infusion center and was quite vocal about it would be really nice if a new facility had X, Y, and Z. And so she and her family actually made the lead gift for the new infusion center. Sadly, Courtney passed away before the infusion center opened up, but shortly after it did was when COVID hit. And because of the amount of space that we had available in the different environments, we were able to section off an area so that in those early days of treatment for infusion treatments for COVID patients, they were able to do that in the infusion center and keep those patients safe and keep the cancer patients safe to get their treatments.
That's
so it was
incredible.
a huge thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful.
You asked also about other ways that we try to help patients. So we do have what we call the Help for Healing Fund. That's a patient financial assistance fund so that if someone's having difficulty meeting the financial needs and things that the hospital can't provide. So I'm going to step back that Riverview Health is the county hospital for Hamilton County. So we take care of everyone, regardless of their ability to pay. On average, we're providing over $20 million of uncompensated care annually to care for residents. So if there are things that Riverview Health can't provide, the Help for Healing Fund does. And the 99% of the use of that fund is for prescription copays. So we've got patients who are getting ready to go home and they know that they need to have this medication, but maybe they can't afford it. And so the nurses and the case managers work with our pharmacy and we're able to help cover those costs.
That's incredible. Can you tell me a personal story about how Riverview Health Foundation has impacted you through one of its patients?
Well, I'll go back to the Help for Healing Fund.
Yeah.
Recently, we were contacted by some staff members who there was an elderly couple that had received a bill, not from Riverview Health, but it was related to a stay. And this is an elderly couple who didn't know how they were going to be able to afford covering this bill. And so staff reached out to the foundation and said, is this something that you think that the Help for Healing Fund could be able to help? And it was, of course, that's a perfect fit for us.
That is such a blessing to that couple to have those needs taken care of.
We also had a situation where someone had reached out to our CEO, Dave Hyatt, and they had a friend who needed to have a mammogram that didn't have insurance. And they're having difficulty finding a place where they could get scheduled to get that mammogram. And so Dave made a few phone calls, and the foundation years ago provided money and funding to a radiology department so that any uninsured patient can come and get a mammogram without any charge at Riverview Health.
So that's incredible. So we're hearing lots about the foundation, lots about the funding. Obviously, these programs take funding. So, and you'd alluded to the Women of Vision event coming up, and I know that does help provide funding for all of these wonderful causes and all of these needs that these patients have. Can you tell us more about that event?
Sure. So that event is taking place on April 25th at Ritz Charles, and our speaker is a woman named Desi Payne, who will talk about the incredible power of laughter. She's a breast cancer survivor. The doors will open at 10:30 that morning. We've got different vendors that are there, so the attendees can come in. It's primarily women. Men are welcome to come, but it is primarily women who are there. And so there's some shopping that goes on. We've got some beautiful raffle baskets that are donated by different departments at Riverview Health. And so there's a social time from 10 to 11:30. Program will start at 11:30, luncheon in the program, and we'll go from there. And so funds that are raised from this year's event will help to support our Women's Endowment Fund that provides that permanent source of support for ongoing needs. as well as funds for our grant-making process that'll take place next year.
Okay, that's wonderful. And for those of you that have not attended this event, I've attended for the past couple of years, and it's probably one of my most favorite events. The speakers are great. The giving is great. And you walk away from the event just filled up with joy. So last year's speaker was Holly, I believe.
Holly was one of the...
She gave her story. Her story is incredible. Knowing her personally also made all the difference. But just how someone can go through the breast cancer journey and see her on the other side of it, hearing her story, and then her joy as she went through the process.
So I'll give you a little sneak preview that we're actually going to have a video with Dr. Sam Heiser and Dr. Josh Timon, who are the two physicians that worked with Polly, and they are our primary breast cancer physicians, surgeons. So Dr. Heiser is the general surgeon and Dr. Timon is the plastic surgeon. And they're going to talk about their passion and why helping women and people going through the breast cancer journey is so important to them. So I'm excited to hear and share that story.
Me too. That's awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
What other events does the Riverview Health Foundation put on to raise funding for all of these needs?
So this year we have a couple more events on our calendar. In June, we will have our 32nd annual Heartfelt Thanks Golf Tournament. It'll take place out at Pebblebrook Golf Club. We are having a women's-only golf event called Wine, Women, and Whiffs, and that will be August 20th out at Purgatory Golf Club, and that will be a 9-hole women's event. And then we will be having another Black Tie Gala on November 1st. And throughout the year, we're raising funds to help support different programs and projects. So I had mentioned the Courtney Cox Cole Infusion Center. The Foundation's primary capital project is the renovation of our inpatient acute rehab unit. And this is a unit within the hospital that provides outstanding care. 99% of the patients that have received care would recommend it to friends and family. That area of the hospital hasn't been renovated since the early 80s. So
it needs some love.
It needs some love. And what's exciting is that we're actually expanding the unit. So currently there's about 12 beds in the unit. We're going to add in an additional 12, so we'll have 24 rooms available for patients. So as Hamilton County continues to grow, we know that the need is there. So we want to be able to make sure that we're providing the appropriate environment, physical environment. Again, care that patients are receiving currently is amazing, but it just needs some love. It needs to grow. So all the events this year will help to raise money for that project. And construction has actually started. So we're going to do it in a couple phases because we do have existing patients. So we're creating a new area first, and then we'll be able to move patients there, and then then do renovation in the other area.
So if you want to get involved or if you want to attend any of these events, how do you go about doing this?
So you can always go and visit the foundation's website, which is riverview.org/foundation, and it'll give a listing of all of those different events. Of course, each event has its own URL, so I can't rattle all of those off to you right now, but we try to post things on social media and on Facebook. And I want to say a special thanks to Smith Jewelers, because for many years, Smith's has been a staple in this community and has helped to provide support. And for you and your family coming in as our new owners of this a wonderful business, you have continued on that level of philanthropy, and they're just doing a tremendous job. And so we are so appreciative of the support that you've provided to the foundation, but to so many other organizations in Noblesville and Hamilton County.
Thank you. We just feel honored to be a part of it. So it's always fun to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And this is definitely,
Exactly. And that's part of why I love what I do. Because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for others and for the community. And because I love Noblesville and Hamilton County, I want to see it continue to grow and thrive, and making sure that we've got a wonderful healthcare system here. I mean, there are a lot of healthcare systems in central Indiana, but Riverview Health is special. So I love being able to raise funds to help support it, to continue to grow and meet the needs of this community.
Well, thank you, Megan, for joining us.
Thank you for
I
having me.
think this has been wonderful. We've learned a lot about the foundation, ways that you can help the foundation, and about our healthcare system. So please visit riverview.org if either you would like to donate funds or if you need services.
Correct? Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.